thing on my show notes is just how unrealistic the show is. All right, and I know what you may be saying. Definitely comment if you want, but like anime in general is not meant to be realistic, right? So anime is kind of like the limitations that regular shows have. 'Cause I do watch a lot of regular shows. I do watch a lot of I watch a lot of foreign shows. I love Korean dramas, um, Mandarin shows, African shows. So I watch a lot of that. But anime is meant to like the limitations that those shows have is like it's cartoons, so you could like really branch out, right? But even still, something that I take from a lot of anime is like, hey, I want something that like really I love stories that are really engaging and like make sense, like power ups that make sense, like things for me make sense. Those are the best stories because you could, even though it's an anime, even though like it's unrealistic to a certain degree, you can still relate to like, all right, 1+1 = 2, not like 1+1 = 20, like not that kind of stuff. Well, like the issue with Zom 100 for me besides the comedic aspect of it, it's like it's very unrealistic. It's like, a lot of his catchphrase, you'll notice that. Like, I'd rather be eaten by this than, um, you know, go to work or go do that task. I'd rather be eaten by zombies. And I get it. It's essentially like a bucket list of things he wants to do before he gets eaten, which that aspect I agree is realistic because, well, maybe realistic, but also negative because, like, yo, he's not trying, like, he's almost expecting to die, right? Granted, we are gonna die, but I guess he expected to die as a zombie. So it's like, yo, I want to do these things before I turn into a zombie, right? So that's his bucket list. But it like I don't want people to adopt that mentality where it's like even like anime protagonists, anime main characters, like they typically tend to be pretty positive. So he is just like, yo, I'd rather be eaten by a zombie than do that. Or I'd rather be eaten by a zombie than do this. And it's like for me, it's like, bro, like it's not that serious, right? Just do the thing, right? You have free will. It's like this mentality of like he doesn't have free will, or as I'm watching the show, it's like it reminds me of like those challenges, like kids come up with like some of the craziest challenges, like the one chip challenge, the plank challenge, the slap your teacher challenge, slap your teacher challenge. Whereas like the mentality is so like short span, whereas like, yo, no, I'd rather be eaten by a tiger, I'd rather be shot 50 million times than do that, or kiss you, or do this. I'm just like, that's very extreme. Like just don't do it. Don't. It's almost like what's that catchphrase? Like don't wish things into fruition. So it's like if your words have power, so like you're wishing it into fruition when you say it out loud. So it's like saying, hey, I'd rather, you know, be ran over by a car or eaten by a zombie than, hang out with you or take orders from you or do this from you. Is like you're actually speaking that, in my opinion, I guess that's what I believe in, like you're speaking that into fruition. So it's just like, my opinion, just avoid it altogether. It's not that serious. Life is too short. I think that's what the show is trying to highlight too. But again, they did it, in my opinion, in a very unrealistic way. Still a good show for what it's attempting to do. But I'm just like, yo, like, that's very, and I get it. That kind of stuff is going to catch, like, people whose attention span is like, they like that kind of stuff. Like, yo, kind of live on the edge, YOLO. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of, like, YOLO, right? When, that Drake thing kind of came out, it was like, YOLO, you only live once. Like, and I kind of adopting, like, yeah, I'd rather do all these things than, do that. I'd rather do all these dangerous things than do that. So it's like, yo, I'm not a fan of YOLO. I get it. You really do only live once, but like, I do think you should make the most of it. Don't, risk a zombie apocalypse just to get a drink of beer or eat a cupcake, like. But for me, I watch Zombie Apocalypse, so I guess I like the more serious tone of it. So again, Zombie 100 is meant to be lighthearted, all right? I just wish it was lighthearted, but still like a little bit more realistic, because there are a lot of realistic moments, like the girl with the purple hair. I like her personality. That's why I first had like a T watch. I'm like, oh, okay, it's that type of show, right? Because she's very analytical, and she brings like a sense of realism to like a lot of the situations. So I'm like, right, even with like them picking the RV. So I was like, okay, like I like her personality. That's what made me think like, all right, I see what they're doing. It's kind of like that spin or yin yang of like, it's meant to be satire. It's meant to be like lighthearted while still trying to analyze aspects of like a zombie apocalypse, right? So there's that.